So for part one of my Trig regression model project, I'll call this part one. All right. There's three things. I've got to pick my topic, decide what that's going to be. I have to explain how did I find my data. And I'm going to have to show my data in a table. To me, this is part one of your Trig regression model project. Find the topic, how did I find my data, show my data in a table. So in order to pick a topic, I'm going to go to the internet and start searching. All right, so I decided I wanted to look at deaths due to drug overdose in Maryland. I had already searched this, and so I typed that in, and then I'm going to look down through all of these, and I usually go with the first one and kind of look and see what kind of information they have. And I looked here, Behavioral Health Administration, that sounds like it should be a reputable source. And I look here, overdose data and reports, and I notice that they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years worth of data. I need 10 or more points. So I won't be able to I won't just be able to pull each of these. So I keep scrolling on the page. Quarterly, I'd really rather do it by year, not by quarter. So I kept going, and then it says number of unintentional drug and alcohol-related intoxication deaths by selected substances from 2007 to 2018. Oh, this is going to have enough data points for me. And then I keep scrolling, and then I really like this because it has it broken down into different types of drugs, which means I'm just going to pick one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the first one that I see here, heroin. So I now have my topic, and I can write down my topic. All right, so my topic is I'm going to look at the number of accidental heroin deaths in Maryland from 2007 to 2018. That's the topic that I've picked. Now I have to explain how did I find my data. I need to make sure I'm very specific as to the website and where on the website that data is found. All right, so what I do is I actually go back a page in my search, and I see that this is the link that I clicked on, which is bha.health.maryland.gov. So I'm going to want to write that down for how I found my data. The BHA, and once I write that down, then I'll click on that and I'll be even more specific as to where on that page I found it, because in some instances it might not be obvious. Now this one, I could just say scroll, is it the bottom of the page? Yeah, it's near the bottom. Scroll towards the bottom of the page, and I would want to give the title of this entire graph. And so I would say scroll to the bottom of the page and look at, and I'll write that title down so that I'm very specific as to where I found my data. I'll show you what I'm writing. Okay. And so I wrote it down, scroll to the bottom, and look at number of unintentional drug and alcohol-related intoxication deaths by selected substances, Maryland 2007 to 2018. I do want to note that right now I'm just taking notes. This is not how I would hand it in. I would either type it up and put it in a document, or I would rewrite it and make sure that it was neat, and maybe I'd have a different color for here and here. I want it to look really nice because this is a product grade. All right, but right now is just me gathering my information. And then the next thing is I need to show my data in a table. Well, I know from the data that I have, and again, this is just me taking my notes right now, that I'm going to have years in Maryland, and I'm going to have death due to heroin, I guess, what did I say? Yeah, death due to heroin overdose. Intoxication, that's going to be the same thing. Okay, now, if I'm going to write 2007, 2008, 2009, etc., all the way down, I have to remember that then what I'm going to have to do in my table, remember in my actual table, I don't want to write those years. I would want to, anytime we're putting data into our calculator, we'd want this to be year 0, this would be year 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I might want to say years in Maryland and maybe change this to since 2007 and do that. Then I can take these out of here and just 5, 6, 7 all the way till, because that would have been 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So that's going to be my years since 2007, starting at 0 to 11, because that's how I'd have to enter it into my calculator. Then I'm going to get the data off of the website, and I'll put those deaths down, and then I will have part 1 of my project completed.